Hey guys, this is Lantis, and we're covering me and SK's game now.
Yet another part of Arath.
Arath, and this will...
Just so that you know, we haven't disappeared in time. I've asked you to man the controls over.
So we're going to go ahead and get right on into this. And this is why y'all need to come to MagCon, so if we're playing your game and we screw something up, you can be like, hey, you missed something.
By the way, MagCon happens every year. Well, it has. So it's not really a surprise, you know?
You can just, like, really flip through that for now. That's not the highlight of it.
Alright, so...
Okay, so...
From the start?
Yeah. Now, let me explain this real quick. Here, let me get on a map. I hate that world map, I wish... So, as you can see, the character right back here has a little bitty feather in his hair, right? This one character is actually in RPG Maker, which is without that feather. So SK wanted to have this guy because apparently that feather is going to have some kind of storyline relevance, which has never happened, probably will never happen. So we could save an entire block of data by going back and changing this guy's sprite in every single event. And we're like, nah.
So we're here to bash on each other's work and ideas.
I've said we every single time.
But he has meant SK every single time.
But yeah, so basically in the story now, it's not too far after where the last demo left off, when we, when the characters got their magic powers, and they're trying to find a way to the next continent. So
here's the thing. I have asked Lantis to kind of let me man the presentation basically while he takes the controls, because I cannot play a game and talk at the same time for the life of me. So, what we wanted to do...
You will never be a Let's Player.
I mean, you're absolutely right about that. I'm going to try, though, one of these days. You can flip through all that. That's not the part we're trying to... what we're doing here, basically we're going to be going through 2 dungeons just to show off Lantis's puzzle-making skills and ingenuity.
Just a sec. I'd just like to say, I really wish you could scroll through text that fast in RPG Maker 3.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Man. It won't even let you do that.
All you gotta do is rotate the D-pad.
How is RPG Maker 3 more limited than 1? Because that's what it seems like.
Enterbrain outsourced it,
and a lot of people complained that 2 was too difficult, so they dumbed it down. But they overcorrected.
No, Enterbrain just didn't care about RPG Maker 3. They outsourced it, they didn't develop themselves.
Alright, proceed.
As of right now, all we're doing is meeting, one of the, like a peripheral protagonist in the game. Paprika, a fairy, typical. In this scene, and I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and say this now, because I wanted to bring this up to you.
Yeah.
A lot of this is just introductions from Paprika. As you can tell, it was really, really long. Now, she really just talks a lot about, established, like, mythos, I guess is the correct term for it, of how fairy kind works in Elvenia, and there's a few secrets there to learn. It's not necessary, but it'll help you understand what some of the stuff that happens later on when we're around a lot more fairies later on in the game storyline. But all we're doing, so what I'm going to do is ask Lantis to create a choice there where if you want to, you can proceed and talk further. That way, long conversations that don't have so much importance if you're not into reading a lot, in that case, don't ever play Xenosaga. Then you'll have the option of just skipping ahead, and we'll make sure we don't cut you off from learning anything important that would tell you how to proceed with the game.
That's not an RPG. That's a story.
But it's actually a decent story. I rather enjoyed all 3 games. Okay, so all we're doing here, we're meeting another character who Paprika is sort of his miniature second-in-command, a pirate named William. And then he's going to... We want to cross the ocean. Like I said, this is towards the beginning of the game, almost right after the conclusion of where we left off at last time we demoed this at the con.
Yeah,
not a lot was skipped.
That was 2010?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like pretty much still at the beginning of chapter 2 right now. We want to cross the ocean to the next continent. William says, "I have no ship anymore due to the enemy."
Because Grandis was taking out that town that we originally went to, and just he just on his way back just destroyed everything in his way. So
Well, actually, it wasn't Grandis.
Was it not?
No, it was a couple of his friends who were responsible for for William's tragedy. See, William is actually a pirate who had an entire fleet of ships. He had approximately 200 men under his command. Most of them were lost until, except in an attack from some of the other bad guys who we'll meet later. And there's only about 20 left. And he said, look, if we're going to do this, I have no problem building a ship for you. I want vengeance in case I meet them back out there on the ocean. But you have to go to this dungeon up here, which Atlantis is guiding us to right now, called Lelia Caverns, and that's where we'll find the right kind of wood that will, build a seaworthy vessel.
It's made out of a very hard wood that's actually grown underground. Now, one of the reasons we decided to choose this place to demo, first off, because it was really close to the last time we did anything for this game, but secondly, because when I first came to the mag and I first posted about this game, because you had to actually apply for a, what was it, a review or something?
Yeah.
I put in 3 screenshots, and they consisted of 2 of which you've already seen live at one of the MagCons. The other being this one scene of a fight with tentacles bursting out of a cave hole. And it was supposed to kind of blend the boss fight in with the background of the actual game.
And if anybody's purchased the issue 3.3 of RPG Maker Magazine, you'll see that ad on the back of the issue.
Alright, so what we're doing in this dungeon, and this is where Atlantis and I kind of blend our unique skills here. Atlantis made the puzzle, and I just had to make like poetic inscriptions into the levers that you pull.
Oh, and just in case if you step off,
yes, you end up back at the beginning.
End up getting washed at the beginning. Take damage, which we have yet to decide how much of.
Okay, now if I recall, Atlantis skipped through it by accident really quickly.
Oh, I'm sorry. You told me to flip through the text.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to slow you down where it becomes important. The first lever he pulled, it said it kind of gave you like a hint as to what room to proceed to next, as hinted by the color of the what's the term I'm looking for here? The bonfire that's sitting in front of it. I believe the next one was green. And like the hint was something like the fire in the Elvenians. Remember, Elvenia is the name of the planet, so people here are called Elvenians. The fire in the Elvenians' heart that is sparked by perseverance shines forth in emerald light. That means go to green next time. Emerald, green. There you go. Actually, I was wrong. That was violet. Next
Turn
one.
violet.
And I believe the next one is sapphire, which is blue. So I think it's the room over
to
the right.
This actually doesn't make you take damage, so...
Yeah.
Actually, it might.
Wow, cheating in your own game.
Whoops. I can just hold circle. I'm in test play.
Here, go ahead and let him read the letter. That's the next one.
I don't even remember what's in these treasures. Just seeing what was actually in these. I don't even think they actually raised stats yet, because,
Yeah, we haven't programmed that kind of thing in, but one thing we wanted to do, or... Actually, I think I wanted to do this one. Touch the lever next and let him read what. And this is just where my skill comes in, but the rest is pretty much Lantis. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is
Oh, and by the way, when you're touching one of these, every single time you activate one of these orbs, a new lily pad will appear in the previous room, gaining you farther access to the end of the tunnel. There's no way I can actually show that, so that's why there was an animation for the one in the top right room, because you won't see that animation as you go around touching things.
And the other thing, going back to that treasure chest, you might have noticed it said, you found Brad's second weapon, the such and such. Well, one thing, and I admit, I think this was pretty much my idea, we want to kind of not leave any confusion as to who can equip what kind of weapon, and we want you to know its relative, strength in comparison to the weapon you might already have equipped. So that's why, we use stuff like the character's name and what, second armor, for instance, for Jay, that means it's his second, it's the second armor, he can get in the game in terms of increasing defense.
So basically, if you miss something, you you'll know
You'll know.
But actually, I'm going to run over here real quick so that you can actually see it in progress. So I've touched, what, 4 now? So I'm missing one there. So I can't get over there, but that one appeared, and those 2 have appeared. So I hold circle cheat. But so we're missing just one more lily pad to complete the way to go over there. So I'm just gonna hold circle and cheat.
Okay, and this is the last route. There were 4 levers in all, and you'll notice there's kind of a recurring theme in numbers and you know,
What's up with the
positive. You what?
There's the rock does something.
rock? What's up with the rock?
The rock does something.
That we don't want to talk about
Well,
this yet.
here,
you go.
I'm just going to show this off real quick. If you come,
Boo!
all right, you see that guy over there? He is going to be a reoccurring shop owner. Has rare things. He's going to be difficult to get to, but he is known as the Dirt Merchant. He doesn't actually sell dirt, but he's very dirty. So
That was a reference to RE4. When I started playing it, that creepy merchant that shows up ahead of you somehow in front of all the enemies that you fight through. I just started calling him Dirt Merchant because he's just a very shifty, odd, shady, suspicious human being.
I have a question.
Oh.
If you look real close, he actually does have glowing red eyes.
Guess what? I programmed it so that if you left, it reset all the switches.
Good job.
Question, Mantis.
Fast forward.
So let's just pretend that they're all there. All right.
If you were able to come across this merchant, how much are his wares?
Oh, we don't know. We haven't balanced battle, pricing, equipment, all that. We're going to take care of that stuff later. But let's just pretend all the...
What kind of super rare stuff does he sell?
I don't know yet.
What? Okay.
So this is the first...
Never question Lantis and Sarah's night.
Why?
If the listeners will excuse me, you may be hearing sounds of intense bloodshed at my hands.
Oh, by the way,
Here
the
in
water
a few
does make you take damage. So you fight a kraken, and whose name is McCracken. So after you beat McCracken, you're free to go claim the underground grown, very thick and sturdy wood known as Elephane.
And this is, McCracken sort of hints at a recurring theme in which the native creatures of Elvenia, both human and animal, you know, those animals who can talk, they kind of start to lose their hope in just that things will turn out.
That's an interesting room. I don't think I've ever seen that room.
I've seen it. Dre's used it.
Really?
Yeah.
And Adam's like, did anybody bring something to cut down the trees with? And of course, because we're all friends and this is how we act in real life, Jay takes a hidden dig at me. Put your sword to use for something.
So with Elephane in hand, we're free to walk back across the lily pads that would have been there had I not left the dungeon.
You know what, KJ? Don't talk. Go back to playing your game like you were the other.
All right.
During the other demos.
So we're gonna just take our Elephane that we got, and we're gonna just swing on out of here.
And this is where we found something very, very interesting.
We might need it. We also haven't really done any music work, so the scenes that seem like they should have a more serious tone might not have it yet. So you'll have to excuse the track.
I have to excuse nothing.
So
And sure enough, it just as Jay says, it really does look like McCracken's arms are reaching through the opening as the cave is crumbling down around him.
yeah.
Very nice.
So and unfortunately we haven't really been able to utilize this a lot. This is like pretty iconic for this game because we haven't really done this ever since then. And I actually put that together from Anime Maker. I took the squid model, was able to cut out the middle of it and kind of push all the legs together, and there you go. So, he can't leave, but he'll try to bat us around with his feet. And I'm assuming this fight's going to be a little bit easier than the previous one. So.
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. He's weakened and he's only attacking us with his legs.
And
blah.
for all we know, the way we program battle, we might be stumbling out kind of on our last legs.
Yeah.
And to note something else, this is really the first time our guardian angels that we met at the end of chapter 1, if you remember from that demo. This is actually where they kind of start talking to us on a regular basis.
Yeah, which was just like in what demo did we play earlier?
Ringcar?
Yeah, and just like in Ringcar, how Marfok.
Malfok.
The way Malfok was talking to you, that's kind of the same way the Guardian Angels like, but we've denoted it by using the message to option. So anytime you see that, that's them speaking to us.
Alright, well, lead us out.
Yeah, sorry. So with Elephane in tow, we can take it back to Captain William, which we should call Bill, just to like tick him off. Right, Bill?
Or Willie.
The science.
Right,
Yeah, we can
James.
call him Will. Actually,
Willie does sound like a pirate name.
because of the name restriction, the character limit, we actually did have to say Willie
Yeah.
because you can't. William is just too long.
Willie's fine.
Hey, Paprika, what's up? So hey, we got your wood. And it's so he will go and build us a boat very quickly.
It takes 6 days to make a boat.
Well, he did have a crew of about 20 other people. I'm sure he didn't do it alone. And the name of the ship is the Rosalina.
This game was worked on before Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, were you trying to find an excuse to accuse us of plagiarism?
No, protect you from it.
So, and just like in every RPG, we have one party member that's always seasick, so he's kind of up on the rail.
And
Like,
of course, it's my character, because that's me.
so now we're on our way to the second continent in Elvenia. This being the first time we've actually cleared one, and there are. So there's.
And with that, that's a hidden person, like a stowaway. If
Yeah.
you take the time to go and talk to him, he'll give you, you know, a new weapon that you could use.
Okay, yeah. We're
Yeah,
splitting.
none of this is important.
Yeah. Basically,
I'm calling my own writing unimportant. Bad SK. Bad.
there you are. So yeah, Adam and Brad are now just free to talk to, and you can kind of explore a little bit in the boat.
Actually, this was all we really wanted to show from Scenario 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, shiny.
Gold.
But well, he's a pirate. What do you think? The pirates freaking have a lot of booty.
Beyonce?
Double meaning.
And then you sleep for the night, and when you wake up, supposedly you'll be in the next continent.
Can it be tapped?
And we're gonna skip ahead.
To Scenario 5, which is actually pretty much Chapter 5.
Yeah, we're able to actually keep the chapters and the scenarios kind of in line for a little bit, but just eventually got out of hand, and you know,
Until the world got too big.
and then the chapters got a little bit longer, you know. But the places. All right, so the bad guys have announced that they're going to be attacking the kingdom, like not trying to hide it at all. It's going to happen. So we found out that they're going to have the person they're going to have it has a very specific weakness, and we found out there's a sword that's really high in that element. So we're going to go try to get that sword. You could probably explain that a lot better than me.
Okay, yeah. Here's what's happening. Well, first of all, why don't you start?
Obviously.
All right, stop there for a moment.
Yeah.
Just try to go through it slowly.
Yeah.
What we're doing here, as of right now, you'll notice that Adam is not in the party, but Jeremiah, the fourth Earthling who in our group, who we meet a little bit later in at the end of Chapter 2, I think, he's with us, and so is William the Pirate. We've met up with him. We're not only here to claim a sword in this mysterious land called Ebony Field, but also William and Paprika had an argument. Paprika being a fairy who can get squashed by like the thumb of a giant monster, you know, she is trying to step up to the plate and saying, well, I want to help in this you know, this huge battle that's coming up that, you know, all these other Elvenians are participating in, and William's like, no, just no. You're much too weak. You can't do anything on your own. So she ran away to this place to try to find the sword for herself. And of course, William.
Screw it up.
Yeah, William has come. You know, asked us to come and help him look for her before she gets attacked and eaten by a monster. This is the second continent, by the way, that we were trying to cross over to in Scenario 2, and yeah, there you go.
Yep, and we have a boat now. So as the game's been going, we made it to where you had to walk around all bodies of water. So you go from this point to this point to this point and avoid water. After you get the boat for transportation, all the paths become pretty much perfectly linear, since you can hop in a boat in water and
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that and that's kind of how the land was developed right here, so you can see it kind of in action. Now, what I hate about RPG Maker is that if you're close enough to it, it'll change anyways. See how that's kind of close to the water? If you watch really carefully, blip. Oh, didn't do it that time, but it'll. That didn't see it.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. It's just it only does it that one way. So for the upcoming war, we're gonna go get the sword, and we're also gonna try to save Paprika.
Well, for the sake of eliminating confusion in the future, the sword is called the Rudra Blade. It's for Jay to wield,
and it's
against the enemy. The leader of the enemy army. But of course, we're also here to rescue Paprika.
Right.
Before she gets squashed.
And so this is one of the only dungeons that we made it really freaking wide open. Usually the dungeons are fairly linear, or there's not a lot to really explore outside of just branching directions. This one's very, very wide open, and we plan on making it worth your while to kind of walk around. Like, you can just follow this one little dirt path all the way to the end of the dungeon, taking the shortest route if you want to. But if you go off on the sides, you can find treasure chests, and even wandering around in this vast area is a dirt merchant, so you can find him selling some things as well. It's funny that the two scenarios we picked had dirt merchant in both of them. So we're gonna.
One thing I like about what we're doing is the fact that our party. Oh, you forgot to correct that mistake.
Yeah.
That is Paprika. That's not. Of course, that's supposed to be William. We had a slight mix-up on the party member menu. I think she becomes William again.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
This is the worst showcase of all time.
It is. But yeah, we're going to rescue the person that's.
Yeah, well, you're the worst mag administrator of all time.
I'm the only one.
And that's it. William's back in our party.
What I like is that our party is constantly changing, so, and of course eventually you're going to have the choice of who you want in your party. It's not going to be forced upon you.
Yeah, but that's not till much later in the game, which is unfortunate, but we could not do it any sooner than we did. We tried, but the way we ended up putting the 8 characters together, while very late in the game, was the best way we could have gone about doing it. I don't like how long it took, but it got there.
Well, that's okay. Final Fantasy IX didn't give you a choice until you got halfway through.
Yeah.
Actually, that is true.
So, yeah. Basically, he's explaining that we're about to take our new boat that we just got and take it out to the Ebony Gulf.
Oh god, Paprika's back.
It's fine. This changes it right here. So, we take our new boat, take it way out to the Ebony Gulf. Now, I think... let me see if Paprika's still in the party. Yeah, it's back. Oh, this will fix it. Unfortunately, there's no way to fix that transition.
What transition?
That where you see the characters for a second, like, because you can. All right. So anyway, we got.
Well, what I would have done was, wait, do you white out or black out to the next map?
White out.
Oh, never mind.
So anyway,
well, you could always transport to a very white map, and I don't know.
We'll work on it, but holding circle and cheating. So here is the. Okay.
Actually, I think this is.
So what we did was we ran into a current that has a whirlpool on it, right? and you can choose to go down it. And the dungeon is below the gulf. It's somewhere down here. And if you hit the wrong one, you get thrown out to the world map. So you want to hit the right one. Now, what me and SK were, what I was thinking about, I actually haven't brought this up to SK. So if we have, right now there's only 2 types of whirlpools. One that take you to the dungeon, one that kick you out. We were thinking about, or I was thinking about throwing in 1 or 2 that actually take you to a secret area that has like a treasure chest, and you can pick up some rare treasure chests in the Gulf. So, all right, so we're gonna check this one and see if it's.
Somebody want to shut the door? Quiet those darn kids.
No, that's fine. So no, that wasn't right. So.
Go straight forward.
Now I was thinking also maybe we can just make it to where you can actually see the whirlwind, the event, like depending on how long it takes us to actually find this, because even it's been so long since I touched it, I don't know exactly where the right one is.
Go down.
That's here. I'll just kind of. There'll also be a slow, random, very low random encounter rate here too.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have courtesy about that.
By the way, you actually still have all 4 of your party members here. They're actually invisible and trailing behind the boat. So let's just see if this goes right. Whee. Yep, that was it. So now the shape of this dungeon was supposed to closely resemble a conch shell that just felt kind of oceany. So it just kind of wraps around in this big spiral. Not very long, but you know, Ebony having Ebony Field followed by Ebony Gulf followed by this, I think that constitutes as one lengthy enough dungeon. So you know, once we get to the end, we got a little scene with the guardian angels here.
We call them GAs for short.
Yeah, because we're not creative.
Maybe you aren't.
Yeah, because. So, and here's the puzzle here. Breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Basically, it's a matching game, and you have to hit this button once everything's matched. The thing is, if you get it wrong, you get stabbed in the foot with spikes. So, like we'd say that one and that one. Oh, hey, I forgot to put the spike.
Animation?
No, the spike graphic. I forgot to put that on the memory card.
Or maybe you did.
No, I
some of the graphics didn't get loaded, remember?
Oh, yeah. But I think I remember where this goes. So, as long as you're matching these up, I can't remember what that one is. There it is.
Bottom left.
Are you sure? Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. So once you
match the tiles and
match the tiles, step on switch, and it unlocks the door.
Okay, now this is sort of the emphasis of the demo here. This is where we try to get really creative. Here, just stop right there for a second, or go really, really slow. As you can see, we finally found Paprika. That's the sword that we're trying to claim. We managed to work with Limitations RPG Maker 1 really well here, I think. It might hopefully it looked like Paprika was, you know, in vain trying to pull such a huge sword that's like, you know,
yes,
3 times her size out of the ground, and all she's doing is turning left and right, really. And we're kind of making like a, you know, noise, you know, trying to tug something. And this is where she does like a cutesy, you know, now you've made me angry and it's in vain.
But, alright, so we finally found Paprika, we finally found the sword, so we're going to be able to save her and get the sword and head back and get ready for the upcoming war. And of course, William being a pirate totally isn't freaking him out about all the treasure here. Uh-oh. But the Rouger blade actually has a spirit.
And unfortunately, it's not the kind of spirit Paprika was counting on.
Oh, I thought that was part of the map.
Nope. That's an event. I'm glad that fooled you, though.
So the sword is pissed off that a weakling creature like a fairy had tried to awake him, and we told Paprika to get back while we take care of this.
Of course.
Let the men handle this.
Now, right now it's fiery, but we're gonna. It's supposed to be a lightning-based blade, so we're gonna give it the whatever color.
If we can find a more suitable color.
Yeah, that's just a standard color for this, right? So.
It should be a blue sword.
Yeah, which will probably.
Actually, that is true. The thunder element is symbolized by blue.
So yeah, we'll change that to blue.
Thank you, Vix, for reminding me.
No.
Well. And of course, like most of the bad guys in LVE, even when he's finally defeated, he has to take, as many. He has to insult the Elvenians who, defeated him as much as he can. Take their shame with him to his grave as like his last mark of evil upon the world. And Jay's like, well, you're mine now.
Nah. By the way, the spirit of the blade was destroyed, so it won't be talking to us later.
And now we're able to use it against, the enemy.
Now, the reason why it's important that we have another source of lightning is that the enemy's going to be weak to lightning. The element that's associated with healing is the lightning element, which isn't really common, which is kind of why we like it. But seeing as the only character that can use lightning is probably going to be using it more for healing than actually casting the spell that the boss is weak to, we threw this in as a way to be able to still utilize the weakness of that enemy while still being able to use healing spells.
Yeah, Jay's element is fire, but there's no rule that said he can't use a sword that's lightning elemental.
Right.
He just can't cast spells.
And the boss we're fighting is fire based, so his magic would do nothing to him. It's 25% of the normal damage, so he's not going to be using magic spells at all. So he's going to be utilizing the sword. And that's kind of a big focus on battle we've been trying to do.
The boss is water based.
Water based.
I think that's what you meant to say.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, sorry, water based. So, but yeah, fire only does 50%.
When William comes out, stop on whatever it is he's about to say, because then we're going to quickly shift over to the next scene, and I want to kind of explain a few things.
What do you mean quickly shift over?
I mean, don't shift over, because the scene is going to shift over before I can say some things.
Oh, well, anything.
Stop right there. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead with what you
want to say. William being a pirate couldn't resist all this treasure being around, so he's actually going to loot some of it. And however much we decide he's going to loot, we're actually going to give to the player to use. So it's just just here, have some money.
Well, William's a pirate, so it's kind of just a stupid little gag after all that seriousness. All right, leave it right there. Next scene. Good job.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, actually, no. You have to leave first. So okay.
Yeah, I'll leave the dungeon.
As we depart to the dungeon, this is going to be the end of scenario 5, but not the end of chapter 5. However, we're going to end with a scene that's shifting back to some characters that we recently left. Sarah and her father, Lyle. Now, that was one of the things I wanted. I asked Lantis to include this next scene with Sarah and Lyle in the demo to also emphasize again how we can do simple motions. Even though characters really can't do anything at all except turn or walk to the left and right and have exclamation marks appear over their heads, we can put it to our advantage sometimes and still get creative with it and emphasize the direness of the conversation that characters are having. So, what we're gonna have in the next scene is, well, go ahead, Lantis. I think I'm ready to go. Now we're back in a town called Kalinka. That's Sarah at the bookshelf, and
which
her father.
Nobody's ever actually seen this town yet, so
good. And Sarah
exclusive.
Do what?
2012 exclusive.
Yeah.
So you can see Sarah's a little bit restless, deep in thought.
She's got on a really nice dress.
Well, this was the best character model we could find for her, but she's actually only about 17 years old. We're not trying to sexualize anything, even though that's the Chun-Li slitted dress character model there.
But where's the kitchen?
Do what?
But where's
the kitchen? That was.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job. So yeah, go through the dialogue a little bit slower.
Oh, slower.
The opposite of that.
The opposite of fast. Crap.
In this scene, I'm trying my best to say this in a way where I'm not, bragging about myself. But again, most of dungeon creation and puzzles and all that kind of stuff is Lance's deal. He's putting his talents on scenes and stuff like that together pretty much on his own, and I'm using my talent in storytelling, which I believe I do have a bit of talent in.
My spelling is about on par with a certain somebody else.
Well, not just spelling. I'm talking about just
Ancestro?
Yeah, Ancestro.
So, I would like to talk about this scene. I don't think it's going to give too much away. Sarah, being a young teenage girl, she's kind of like our little sister figure who. When we last met her and Lyle, she wanted to tag along with us into the dungeon, to fulfill a particular purpose of her own. But here, the thing is, she's the only, aside from her father, she's the only white mage in the world who can, use healing magic. Now, there's other characters who can heal through conventional means, medicine. But as to being able to do so through magic, Sarah and Lyle are the only ones. Now, Sarah has a very gentle personality. The problem with her is she feels she has a contradiction to her own nature by also having the power to slay evil with her bare hands. Like any, self-respecting work of fiction that's influenced by the Japanese culture, like any fantasy RPG, we gotta have little girls who can slay demons by the hundreds, But,
right.
She's confused and complicated by that. She's a healer, and yet she has the power to, end lives, end other people's lives, even with something so simple as her bare hands, kind of like I guess Jean and her blue dragon palm style from Lunar 2. So there's something very spiritual about her fighting style, almost like she's guided by divine power, and also her healing. So she's discussing the sort of doubt and confusion she feels in her heart over all this with her father right now. And this is one of the scenes that I'm personally very proud of, and how he animated it and told the story there. It's long, yes, but I do believe that it's definitely worth reading.
All right.
And keep going to the end of the scene. There's a little bit more that we have. You can go just a little bit faster for right now. So, and yes, this is their home, by the way. We have things like Sarah constantly sort of turning her back on her father, and looks like she's just sort of staring up at the ceiling or the wall, thinking to herself as she's musing. And Lyle's trying to reassure her that she is a good and kind-hearted person, and she's not the same as the enemies who are trying to take Elvenia, by force. She's not a murderer. She's not a killer. She doesn't have that kind of nature in her. She may have the power to be able to do so, but of course it's the whole typical, hey, if you're using your power to protect instead of bring judgment, well then that's what makes you one of the good guys. Blah, blah,
Even
blah.
though there's a poor, now newly widowed demon wife and their demon baby without a father.
Yes, definitely.
Look, the job of us people and RPG characters is to survive at all costs. Sorry for the demon mom and the demon babies.
That's one of the things.
They can kick rocks.
That's one of the things that a lot of you are going to be downright sick of when you play through this game. The Elvenians are just so lovey-dovey, touchy-feely, it's going to make you want to puke. And good, if it does, I've achieved my purpose.
Well,
I finally want to create a game where there is nothing wrong with the good guys in the game at all. They have no sort of evil nature to them. They're not like action movie stars who can, take twin Uzis and kill, weakling bad guys by the hundreds, and then, like bang a woman at the end of that night that they've known for a few hours. Stuff like that. I mean, the Elvenians are very...
This will probably be very attractive to bronies, at least.
Yeah.
Bro.
And,
Bro!
it turns out Lyle found Sarah's diary there, and he's like, I've discovered something about you, and she's like, oh, okay, no need to go into that. And so this is where scenario 6 gets started, where we go back to Naraka, the holy city. It's the main capital in Elvenia that we're trying to protect, that the Dark Lord and his minions want to attack. So that's what happens next in episode/scenario 6. So I guess you'll just have to play the game to find out all about that.
This will probably be the last public showing of the game before it's released. So,
but we don't have battle program. We have a lot of ideas. We're gonna put them together after we're done with the storyline, which we're getting very close to the end of. We're actually on the very last dungeon.
Yep.
Right now, so I really say in at most a year and a half's time.
Really. We're not gonna stick to that because the second you stick to it, something's gonna happen.
Okay, but we're really proud of what we've managed to accomplish here in storytelling, and we know we're going to do really well on balancing battle and making it a fun RPG. So,
and the screen was out of frame, just a little bit.
By how much?
You couldn't see the bottom of the screen.
Okay, well, all they missed was the last line of.
It was the last line of dialogue.
But here's the thing: even though y'all have taken, as long as y'all have
since 2004.
Yes, but still, that's not as long as Duke Nukem Forever.
Right. We're getting close.
How long was Duke Nukem Forever?
I think about 12
years.
12 years.
I thought it was 14.
Well, 14 if you include
And it can't be as
all the swapping between companies and whatnot.
So we can wait as long as y'all have,
So we really hope that when we finally get this totally complete, that y'all are going to find this a true, old school, very satisfying traditional fantasy RPG experience.
Yeah.
And we hope you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Or, like Duke Nukem Forever, we could be horribly disappointed.
No,
And-
there's no way we can be.
Maybe we should change the name to Arc Arath Forever.
I will say one thing. When I Let's Play it, it's going to be over 100 episodes.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm certain of that. You're gonna, even if you cut out all the random battles.
We intend to go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure we have no...
Yeah, playtesting, seriously, we're gonna finish the dialogue probably within the next half year.
Almost definitely.
Yeah, the year and a half that SK is referring to is mostly going to be test playing and balancing. So,
and in fact, we want to make sure in case you thought that whole thing with having Paprika show up in the party for a second there when it should have been William. Actually, Lantis did catch that. He just forgot to change it before we came before we got over here. So we're on the lookout, guys. Don't worry.
No big deal. No big deal.
I imagine that would be pretty difficult to miss.
Right. But yeah, guys. I guess.
I wish I brought Lamar's character artwork that he's done. So
yeah.
I really wish I'd done that. I'm really glad about the way he brought Paprika to life in particular for us.
Call Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamar's awesome. All right, well, guys, I guess that's it. Thanks for checking out our little presentation there, and we'll catch you next time when we hit up another
game of the con.
The mystery game that Dre bought. I cannot wait. Well, you guys take it easy.